Our next speaker is the president and the CEO of Rescue Democracy International and respected advocate for governance, humanitarian action, and institutional trust. His work is centered on building stronger communities through purpose-driven leadership and accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Ms. Dr. Justin Mudekereza. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome Dr. Justin on the stage. He shall be guiding us through how important it is to build trust just among not ourselves but also towards our organization. Let me have you on the stage, please. We're very privileged to have you around. Please join me. Let's look forward from the power to purpose. Dr. Justin, thank you so much for joining in.
We are going to use the old class of presentation, right? From power to purpose, rebuilding trust as the engine of global progress. Distinguished leaders, esteemed delegates, changemakers, fellow honorees, and the visionary team behind the global icons of impact, good morning. It is a profound honor to stand before you here in Singapore, a city that has become a global symbol of what is possible when ambition is matched with clarity of purpose and disciplined execution. I am deeply grateful for this recognition and humbled to be among leaders from 18 nations, leaders who are shaping industries, transforming communities, and redefining what global leadership looks like in our time. Today, I want to speak about something that sits at the heart of every society, every institution, and every meaningful transformation: trust. Because if we look honestly at the world today, we see that the greatest crisis is not only political instability, economic inequality, or humanitarian suffering. Beneath all these challenges lies a deeper fracture: the erosion of trust between people and systems meant to serve them. And without trust, power becomes fragile, purpose becomes blurred, progress becomes impossible. Across continents, I have seen the same pattern repeat itself. Communities lose faith in institutions. Institutions lose touch with the people, and leaders, no matter how well-intentioned, struggle to bridge the widening gap. When trust collapses, societies fracture. When trust is restored, nations heal. This is not an abstract idea. It is lived reality. I have seen communities fall into despair when governance fails, and I have seen the same communities rise again when they are invited to participate in shaping their own future. I have seen how quickly hope returns when people feel seen, heard, and respected. Trust is not luxury. Trust is the foundation of stability, legitimacy, and progress. And yet, trust is the very thing that the world is losing fastest. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished change makers, My own leadership journey began the day I realized that silence in the face of injustice is itself a form of violence. I witnessed the consequences of broken systems, systems that were meant to protect but instead excluded, systems that were meant to empower but instead weakened the very people they were designed to serve. That moment transformed me from witness to a reformer. It led me to found Rescue Democracy International, a nonprofit organization built on simple conviction that when people are empowered, when institutions are accountable, and when leadership is fastened into integrity, transformation becomes possible even in the most fragile environments. Through Rescue Democracy International, I have worked alongside communities who refuse to give up even when the world seems to have given up on them. Their resilience taught me that leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It is about being the most accountable. It taught me that progress is not delivered to communities, but it is built with them. Too often, power is misunderstood as control, but true power is stewardship. It is the responsibility to protect, to uplift, and to create conditions where others can thrive. Power without purpose becomes dangerous. Purpose without accountability becomes empty. But when power and purpose align, they create progress that endures. Leadership today requires more than authority. It requires moral clarity. It requires the humility to listen, the courage to act, and the discipline to build systems that outlast us. Because the measure of leadership is not how loudly we speak, but how deeply we serve. Purpose is not a slogan. Purpose is a design principle. It shapes how we build institutions, how we allocate resources, and how we respond to crisis. Purpose is what transforms a project into a movement and a leader into a catalyst. In Rescue Democracy International's work, purpose guides everything. We center realities, not institutions. We center communities, not institutions. We design systems that are transparent and accountable. We build partnerships that honor local realities while meeting global standards. We focus on solutions that are scalable, measurable, and sustainable. Purpose creates alignment. Alignment creates trust, and trust creates progress. Distinguished change makers, allow me to share something deeply important to me. The new model of development and humanitarian aid delivery, also known as the RDI Model. A big book you've seen somewhere, we'll talk about it. This model was born from years of witnessing the same painful pattern, billions of dollars in aid flowing in fragile countries, yet communities remaining trapped into extreme poverty, instability, and exclusion. Why? Because traditional aid systems are often too bureaucratic, too distant, and too disconnected from the realities of the people they aim to serve. The RDI models, the RDI model changes that. It is built on 4 pillars. 1, community co-design. So here, communities define the priorities. They lead. They own the process. The second pillar is zero-owned assets logistics. We eliminate unnecessary overhead, so resources reach the people, no administrative structures. Number 3, radical transparency. Every dollar, every decision, every outcome is visible. And pillar number 4, and last, entrepreneurship activation. We turn aid into opportunity, especially for women and youth. This model is not theory, it is working. It is restoring trust where trust was broken. It is empowering communities who were once excluded. It is proving that development can be efficient, dignified, and transformative. If trust is the foundation of progress, then youth are the architects of the future. This is why one of RDI's meaningful initiatives is the Youth Leadership for Democratic Renewal program, a 6-module program that trains and equips young leaders with the skills to lead with integrity, engage in civic processes, resolve conflicts, advocate for their communities, design and implement local projects, build businesses, and create jobs. In 2026 alone, we are training 1,570 young leaders across Africa. These young people are not waiting for change. They are building it. But they cannot do it alone, and we cannot do it alone. This program is needed in most parts of the world, from Asia to Latin America, from Middle East to the Pacific, and scaling it requires a collective effort. If we want a world where democracy is resilient, where communities are empowered, and where progress is sustainable, then we must invest in the next generation of ethical, courageous, and community-rooted leaders. Today, I want to offer a simple but urgent call to action. Rebuild trust where it has been broken, not through promises, but through systems, not through speeches, but through service, not through power, but through purpose. Let us commit to leading with integrity even when it is costly, designing solutions with communities, not for communities, building institutions that honor human dignity, collaborating across borders and ideologies, using our influence to uplift others, not ourselves. Because the world does not need more powerful leaders, it needs more purposeful ones, distinguished changemakers. Today, I am extending my personal invitation. If you believe that strong institutions create strong communities, if you believe that leadership should be measured by the opportunities we create for others, if you believe, again, that trust remains the most valuable currency of progress, I invite you to explore becoming a member of the Global Philanthropic Leadership Council. Over the next year, we are assembling a small circle of leaders from across the world, who are committed to helping shape and expand this work, not because the change is small, but because the opportunity is extraordinary. This is a founding circle, a group of leaders who will help guide, strengthen, and amplify a model of development and leadership that can transform communities for generations. On your table, you will find an RDI Global Philanthropic Leadership Council article. Please read it and take action. I am not asking you merely for support or to support a program. I am inviting you to help shape a movement committed to restoring trust, strengthening institutions, empowering communities, and developing the next generation of ethical leaders. The challenges before us are too great for any one leader, one organization, or one nation to solve. But together we can build the partnership, systems, and leadership required to create progress that endures. If we can build trust within our institutions, within our communities, and within ourselves, then there is no challenge too greater, no division too deep, and no dream too distant. Thank you, TGII, for this honor. Thank you for believing in the power of purpose, and thank you for standing with those who are working every day to build a world worthy of the next generation. May we lead with courage, may we serve with humility, and may we build systems that allow every person in every nation to rise. Thank you.